what's up with you? It's what's up with you? And everyone's going, Karl, what are you doing? That's meant to be your girlfriend and that. You should be sort of saying, oh, I'm sorry, and giving her a hug and all that, and saying it'll be all right, we'll sort the dress out. I said, I can't be dealing with this. No. Right? So she's crying her eyes out, so it's over, right?
It's over, you saying, right, in the morning. Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah, there's no more in the morning.
So I go to the toilet, right, and this lad who fancies her comes in and goes, you're out of order, And I'm saying, what are you on about?
So there's 2 7-year-olds. Yeah. You're out of order. Keep out.
Yeah. Cut it out. Show her a bit of bloody respect.
Sorry, were you wearing trilbies?
Yeah. He put his cigarette out in the sink and he just said, leave it.
Get out of my face.
So I just sort of said, look, why are you getting involved and all that?
Yeah. 2 7-year-olds. Yeah. Why are you getting involved?
And it was obviously like because he fancied her and that. We had a bit of a fight in there. Yeah. I accidentally, sort of chipped his tooth on a sink. Right?
Wow, is it like a proper...
Sorry, this is like someone from Lock, Stock and 2 Smoking Barrels. Yeah. What are you talking about? 2 7-year-olds in a toilet.
So you put a hole in her dress. I don't know how that happened. What were you wearing? Football boots? How did you make a hole in her dress?
I don't know. It was like that sort of material.
You were wearing winkle pickers.
Like a crepe. You know what I mean? It was like a crepe dress or something.
Yeah.
And that got a hole in it.
So you're having and when you say you're having a fight, I mean, are you wrestling with it? You got arm locks and head locks?
Wrestling and shoving about and that, and it was an accident. I didn't sort of go, right, I'm going to break your teeth or anything. It's just that I happened to push his head down, and his tooth hit the sink, and it chipped and what have you. After that, I sort of left there and stuff, and we had to go into assembly, and there was a copper in there doing some presentation saying, listen kids, don't get into trouble because we're out there and we'll get you. Right, so sort of try to teach the kids young not to get into any trouble and stuff. So I'm sat in the assembly room thinking, oh God, there's a copper here talking, and my mate's going to come in a minute, like with a chipped tooth and everything. And
questions are going to get asked.
That's what kind of happened. I mean, the coppers didn't get involved.
Yeah.
Did you turn your back on violence after that then?
Yeah. He said you'll never take me alive, copper.
So that was the sort of last fight.
Brilliant.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Some of the questions coming in now, Rick, are just, I don't know what they're intending. What response they're hoping for, really. This is one from Rob. He just says, I was just wondering, what are Karl's views on the human appendix?
What do you think, Karl? What do you think of the human appendix?
Never worried about it.
Well, no, I think Rob's point is that it's sort of pretty redundant now. The appendix used to be an organ that was packed with these enzymes that help break down things like cellulose. But because of our diet now, and because cooking and other things, we don't need to eat a lot of cellulose. We don't eat very, very low grade things like rabbits, for example, huge appendix and cecum, and they use it to break down cellulose. They actually eat their own feces to get it through again. But we get a lot of nutrients out of food now. We eat a very rich food, so we sort of don't need the appendix. And also, when something goes wrong with the appendix, if it bursts, it can infect you and you can die from it. So sort of what's the point in having it? We don't need it, and it can only cause us harm. That was the question, I think, that Rob was putting to you. So now what are your thoughts on the human appendix?
So this is kind of what we talked about before, where...
He always says that. He always says something like, oh, we've talked about this, and the thing that we talked about is nothing like it. Yeah. There's never... Go on.
No, but just like in the way that we've messed with our body and we've messed with the world too much.
Yeah.
If we've got an appendix, we must need it. If it's dangling about, right?
Well, no, because such as the human evolution is, that as you said before, it's no longer based on survival of the fittest, because we can fight nature and combat it. So our evolution, if you like, socially and everything else, it has been much faster than our biological evolution.
What I mean is we've obviously interfered somewhere along the way, and
we have interfered.
Yeah, we shouldn't have done, because it's the same way. Like if we didn't have planes and that, would we have wings now? If we'd have needed to get about, would we have had wings?
No, the answer's no. Next.
No, but you say that, but look at the way...
Because he's right, is it? Because he's right.
No, but all I'm saying is you see that little picture of like an ape to man.
Yeah.
At first they're crawling about on all fours because probably you're looking for food, so you want to be down there. So if you're on both legs,
Yeah.
you're missing stuff that's on the floor.
What sort of time period do you think this... Because, I mean, we started, dabbling with the plane maybe 100 years ago. So what sort of time period do you think this little thing who's scrabbling around looking for food stood up and
I
walked?
don't know. I sort of don't worry about time. Sort of
Well, I'll tell you now, we wouldn't
behind
have wings now. If the Wright brothers had said, forget it, we wouldn't have wings now.
What would happen? Right, here's another question. This is one that I chuck out to kids as well. We were talking about education, teaching kids stuff.
Sure.
What would happen, right? We ruin this world, right? Goes wrong with that, right? They shut it down. They go, we're moving. We go to another planet.
It's as simple as that in his world. It's as simple as that.
We can't go to Mars because it's full of stuff that used to be in Dixon's.
It's like a tip.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. So we can't go there. We go somewhere else.
So you find another planet, wherever it is, right?
Wherever it is. Easy.
Something that I've always wondered about, if we do that, do we start New Year's or do we carry on? Do you know what I mean? Do we say, it's still 2006? Or do we go, it's world new, whatever, new world?
That is definitely the first priority.
It's year one, right, we've sorted that out. Right, now...
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because a year might not be the same on this planet.
We'd sort that out, right? We'd sort out what year it is and that.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, we'd have to start again anyway, because the planet might not take 1 year as we know it to go around the sun. It might not take a day to turn. A day is a day because that's how long it takes.
Yeah, but we'd have to carry on, as we know, because we don't want to start doing longer days and that, otherwise it'll just kick off and say, this is rubbish, this new world, what are you doing?
No, we wouldn't have a choice. Day. We wouldn't have a choice. A day is how long it takes the planet to turn, and a year is how long it takes that planet to go around the sun.
But a day is man-made, really. There's places in the world where they're working in the dark, isn't there, in Iceland and that? But they don't go, well, it's dark all the time, so I'll stay in bed.
Well, no, but there's still a day. It's still 24 hours in a day in Iceland.
Yeah, but we only work by that clock because that's what people use at the moment. They go, what time is it? You go, it's 20 past 11.
No. We use that because that's how long it takes the planet we're on to
I've never worried about it like that. I've just always...
Well, no, I'm telling you...
Well, because you weren't asked to get involved when they came up with the idea.
I'm telling you, that's what a day is. It's how long it takes your planet to... What do you mean?
No, I'm just saying that's fine and everything. But if when I was born, people said there's 26 hours in a day, I'd go, fair enough. I'm not going to argue.
We could have made that how long an hour is. Yeah, we could have made hours shorter and get 26.
Well, they're saying they're going to do that.
No, they're not.
No, they are, because there's so many people in the world.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about before. They've got to create more jobs. The only way to have more jobs is keep shops open, take on more people. Everyone's happy.
That makes no sense at all.
Right. Say if there's 28 hours in a day.
Yeah, it'd still be 24 hours long as we used to know it.
No, you'd have like, what time is it? Oh, it's like 20 past 25 or whatever.
Well, you're not making any sense at all.
No, I'm just saying...
The Earth would still take 24 hours as we know it now.
Forget it.
Hang on a minute, there's more interesting territory here. Let's say we've got to our new planet, wherever that is. It takes 14 hours... Okay, to do its turn. So we call that a day, right? So we've now agreed that 14 hours is a day.
But nothing. It's going to take ages to get the town centre built and that. If you've only got...
I'm going with you. I'm defending you here.
All right.
So we've got that. We've established what the day is. We've established what a year is, right? It's year one. It's Karl year one. What next? All right. We've got all the people. We've moved to another planet. You said you had a bunch of other questions.
Don't forget, our sleep patterns have evolved on a day. The reason we sort of go to sleep at night and have about 8 to 10 hours sleep is because that's our evolution.
No, but that's just because that's what we've got used to, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look at a sloth, that's asleep all the time. Yeah, that's got the same watch as us. It's doing what it
but
wants.
it evolved differently, didn't it?
But it's living now in 2006, so wake it up. Right, you can't get away. You're not getting away with this anymore. If you want to live now, join in with us.
Well, it's that time again. It's the feature that the world is saying could rival Monkey News one day. Ready?
Oh, what's he written today?
What, Karl's diary? You didn't explain what it was.
Karl's diary.
Actually, as one person said, if we are going to get it published, we can maybe publish it as the diary of an idiot.
Very good.
So, riff down one of those famous diaries. Sunday, got up, sunny day, so went for a walk in the park. There was a bloke walking down the street who was whistling some kind of annoying tune. He seemed quite happy with himself. Do people only whistle when they're happy? I don't whistle very much.
It's a good point. Whistling is so inane to me. But yeah, it's sort of like going, I'm content, it really is that thing that if they go, you go, well, Mr. Mellors, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Not only has your wife died, but you've lost the house. Thanks, Doctor.
Won't happen.
No, you don't whistle when you're sad. The other place you hear it, of course, is changing rooms. And that's men going, I'm whistling, so I'm not looking at your cock. How could I be? I'm concentrating on whistling.
The lake was frozen over where I was walking. The ducks looked worried. They were sat on the edge of the lake waiting for it to melt. Were they, Carl?
Yeah, we were just sat there looking, sort of going, oh, what's going on? I don't know. How long is a duck's memory? Because I wondered whether they're going, this doesn't seem right, but I don't know why.
I asked Suzanne why ducks don't use their wings much. They seem to walk and swim more and don't bother using their wings. Suzanne said she had to call her mum and dad, so I never got an answer.
The old excuse! Suzanne, I can't talk now, Carl.
Gonna phone my mum. There was a marathon type run going on in the park. It reminded me of the time when we were moving flat. It was the day of the London Marathon. Me and Suzanne were walking down the middle of the road, taking some stuff to our new flat. I was carrying a lamp and a kitchen bin. People were clapping me, thinking I was doing some kind of fun run.
Why were you walking on the same route?
Because it was when we lived on the Docklands.
Oh, brilliant.
There was no other route. The flat was just about 100 yards down the road.
They're going, look at the bloke with the bald wig. He's carrying a lamp and a bin.
Took a bag of old clothes to Oxfam. It was just old T-shirts and a couple of jumpers with holes in it. I don't think anyone will buy them. But the Oxfam is closer to the flat than the wheelie bin is. On the tube on the way back home, saw an advert for a book about a woman who works in a funeral home. She went into work one day, she goes to work on a body, she takes the sheet off of one of the bodies, and it looks exactly like her. This is called a doppelganger.
What's a doppelganger to you?
It's the thing I read about ages ago where someone was walking down the street.
Yeah, and he sees someone who looked a bit like him.
And no, this was weirder than it.
Go on.
He remembers like going down that street as a kid on his bike whistling.
Yeah.
And then he's walking down the street, going to get some milk or whatever from the shop. Little bike comes whizzing past. He hears the whistling. He goes, "That's weird." Looks at it. It was him when he was a kid. So it's like a time.
Shit. What do you mean? It was him as a kid.
This is like a different form of doppelganger. It's just
It's impossible. It's rubbish.
some sort of time thing, isn't it?
No,
It's time.
but that's impossible. So don't
It's
worry
just
about
some
it.
kind of time thing, Rick. No.
Yeah,
it's
something you read again on the internet, or it was a short story, or something someone told you.
On my walk back from the tube, I saw a jogger who was pushing a pram at the same time. The kid looked terrified. Got my science book out. It said that the static you get on the telly when a channel isn't tuned in properly is radiation that is still knocking about from when the Big Bang happened. I thought about the Big Bang and wondered if it was really a Big Bang or did it just sound louder as there was no other noise to drown it out. Carl's diary, Rick, never ceases to amaze. More from that next week.
Hey, fool! Don't give me no backtrack, sucker. I ain't here to mess with you. I ain't getting in no plane. I'm here to tell you all about Friday night comedy on Channel 4. There's 3 great new comedies. New Green Wing, yeah, fool, that's nearly ready. My Name is Earl, and The It Crowd. They're great new comedy from the creator of Father Ted, sucker. Friday night comedy this Friday on Channel 4, fool. Switch it on, or I'll be around your house. You stay up all night shivering, cause you be so mad scared. Fool.
Oh, well, it's that time now. Yeah? It's the big one.
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news!
Right, it was this
Monkey?
this fella right, who he had a problem with his eyes. Right?
Yeah.
So he goes to the doctors and he goes, oh, I've got a problem with my eyes. And he goes, yeah, they're bad then. Right? He goes, it was in America, you know, like how you have to pay for medical stuff and all that. And the doctor said, oh, if I fix them, it's going to be like 10 grand. Right? It's like, but I haven't got the money, doctor. He goes, well, I can't help you then. You know, there's a lot of people with bad eyes like them. Can't do anything for you. So you go, oh, it's getting worse, can't do anything. So anyway, so he goes home.
Is that the price of human eyes, is it?
So he goes home, he's looking in the paper, right, and he sort of sees in the adverts at the back, and there's a little advert there saying cheap doctors, right?
Oh no.
So he's thinking, oh, maybe that's what I need, right? So he calls him up. Woman's there. She's like, wait, what can I do? He goes, I've got bad eyes and that. She says, oh, come in tomorrow, we'll sort them out. She's like, brilliant, I'll see you then, right? So he goes down there, and he says, right, I can hardly see. My eyes have got in really bad state and what have you.
Right.
You need to have them sorted out. I don't know what you do. Whatever you do,
Right.
I need
Now,
them.
his eyes are so bad, can he see the doctors?
Not really,
Can't
sort
really
of
see
squinting
squinting.
and that, but so he's like, do I need to see the doctor to, have a word and tell them what problem? She's like, nah, don't worry about that. Just,
I'd be comfortable if it's a...
just let me inject you and we'll knock you out and we'll get on with it. It's like,
Get the doctor in.
Can I just tell you something about chimps as well, just before we continue? They don't have opposable thumbs.
Now,
which is
why
what-
are opposable thumbs useful? Rick?
Well, to grip something, to do anything like, even simple stuff like writing, let alone surgery. So without an
But
opposable
can I just check
thumb-
now?
Go on.
So if I was a doctor and I was doing any form of difficult surgery, would I need opposable thumbs?
You'd need opposable thumbs.
To be a doctor.
You couldn't do anything.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Because the opposable thumb allowed something in our evolution called the precision grip.
Right.
So without that, you couldn't do anything.
I'm just glad they've got that cleared up, thanks.
So anyway, so he's had the injection, he's nodding off and what have you, like, his eyes are sort of closing and that, he hears the door open, and he sort of just sees this little fella come in, and he's like, hello doctor, and he's trying to make a chat with it, but he's just nodding off. No, just
He's never called it
it.
doctor. These people have done 7 years medical training.
respected people.
How could you call it it?
So anyway, he thought, it's weird he didn't answer, but doctors can be quite moody, they're highly intelligent, they don't need
Especially little airy
that.
ones.
Just idle chit-chat, there's no room for that, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm here to do a job.
If I'm going in to have my eyes done, I want a little bit of idle chimp chat.
So anyway, time passes, right? He sort of wakes up and he opens his eyes, right? And it's brilliant, he can't believe it.
Eyes are perfect.
He's had the op, he can't believe the sight. He's like, nurse, right? And the nurse comes in, because I can't believe it, this is brilliant. I've never had such good sight, do you know what I mean? Even when I was a baby, and my eyes were new, I didn't see this good.
Great.
So she's like, well, that's
You realise the nurse is a panda.
that's what we do, right? So he said, right, so can I just see the doctor and just say thanks and that? And she's like, well, to be honest, he's specialised in what he does. There's a lot of
What a load of bollocks this is getting.
Please.
Where did you get this from?
No, come on, let's hear the end of the news.
There's a lot of like operations he's got to do. So leave him to it. It's just having a kid. I'll let him know that you were grateful. Pays the check. Off you go. Go and enjoy looking at stuff.
Yeah.
So he said, no, just what's wrong with that? I just want to see that. Just
No, it's fine.
leave it. Just leave.
Yeah, exactly, leave it.
And he's like, yeah, but I can't. I want to thank him. He's done such a good thing for me. So they're getting into a bit of an argument and what have you, and the voices are raising, right? Door opens.
I'm going to wake the doctor up.
Well, that's what they did. They woke it up, right?
They woke it up?
So the door opens, right? Little monkey comes out, and he's like, "What's going on here? It's a hospital. Why is a monkey knocking about?"
Yeah.
So the woman said, "Well, what do you mean? He's the doctor, right?" So he's like, "You are having a laugh, aren't you?" She goes, "Look, don't complain. Your eyes are sorted.
Yeah.
The doctor's done it. What's the problem?" He said, "Well, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have come here." She said, "Well, what do you mean you didn't know that?" She said, "The advert in the paper you read, it's like chimp doctors."
That is the biggest load of shit I've ever heard. That really is the worst.
What? And because his eyes were so bad, he thought it said cheap doctors.
He saw the advert and it said chimp doctors, but because his eyes were bad, he just saw it.
What journal is this in?
It was years ago. But it sort of says how the monkey sort of carried on working for a few years. He couldn't do anything.
Then just retired to play golf.
It's absolute bollocks. There's no way. It's not even worth talking about. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It's the most ridiculous monkey news you've ever heard, and that's saying something.
Chimp doctors, cheap. It's easy mistake.
Well, that's the end of another podcast. That's week 11. We've got one more to go next week. So go to rickygervais.com, see some of the things we've been talking about, register, so we can let you know what's happening when we're back.
Who hosted this podcast?
It was the great guys at Positive Internet who host the world's #1 podcast, The Ricky Gervais Show, with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, bye-bye, and Karl Pilkington.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hello, welcome to number 6, the final episode in this season 2 of the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant,
Hello,
and Karl Pilkington.
All right.
You can still go and get the archive, all 18 episodes we've done so far. That's available on iTunes and audible.co.uk. And there's a little video diary we've done, a little free podcast. We may go into free podcasting, but in video, Steve. And there's a little free taster up there. So check that out. Go to rickygervais.com to find out all news and everything. But come on, let's get on with this episode. We're here and now.
this is right. Yeah, absolutely. Here we are. Good.
Carl,
Go.
I've got some bad news to start off with straight away. The world's oldest tortoise, a 250-year-old tortoise, died last week.
Did it?
Yeah, in a zoo in India. 250 years old.
So would that have had that thing that they say about how you get a flashback of your life?
You mean your life flashes before your eyes?
Yeah, they say, don't they? Just like on your last breath or whatever. You like see you coming out of the womb and everything.
Well, one, I don't believe that's true. I don't believe your life flashes before you. I don't know what evidence we've got. People who die say, you never guess what's happening.
No, but there's loads of things that have happened where people go, oh, that's weird. That goes to show that we've been around before, or...
No, it doesn't. There's none. I have no evidence for that.
Well, I told you that time when it happened to me when I was younger.
Go on.
Your life flashed before your eyes?
Well, it wasn't like a flashback, but it was close. It's the next thing next to flashbacks. It was I was having a bath, right, and my mum had like run the bath and that, and she said, "Is that too warm?" And I said something like, "No, it's all right. It's a lot better than when I used to have a bath in that wooden bath in front of the fire."
Okay.
And she was like, "What?" And I said, "It happened years ago." She was a bit like, "Oh." And I can't remember that now, but she talks about it, and that just goes to show that, because I was at an age when I wouldn't have known about wooden baths years ago in front of fire.
No, but you talk rubbish now. So all you were doing, you were talking rubbish from an early age. Where's the problem?
No, but you can only talk rubbish if you're aware of knowledge.
Well,
I didn't know about wooden baths, so why would I have
But
invented
Carl,
that?
we've only got your mother's word on this, and she thought you might one day be a doctor.
Yeah.
So,
She put a rock with a feather on it to keep a parrot company.
lest we forget.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Well, it's all bollocks.
So have you researched this? You've tried to find out when little Karl Mark I and his wooden bath, when he was...
No, I don't want to go there, because that's when you start digging out all sorts
It's
of trouble,
rubbish.
isn't
It's rubbish.
it? No, it's not rubbish.
Well, it is
what
rubbish.
sort of stuff might
There's
you
no
discover?
scientific evidence.
No,
but
just like how I've said about family trees and that. Don't be looking at them, because you're only going to find stuff you don't really want to know about. It's the same as that, innit? Leave it, let it be. Do you know what I mean? If your granddad was Einstein, you'd know about it because your family would be shouting about it. If he was a bad one, you go, oh, keep that quiet. So don't look at family trees, and it's the same. Don't be looking back in your past lives.
There's
Because
no
God knows
past
what you've been up
lives.
to. Well,
Karl and the wooden bath. Proof. If
Karl
proof you need.
Pilkington, live on air talking shit again.
but this tortoise. So if that's
And also, its flashbacks would just be, the same wall. I mean, it basically spent, I don't know how many years, in a cage. It was in the zoo, so it died of liver failure. Which is a problem if you're a tortoise, because with us, they can cut you open and have a look at the liver. With that, it's going, forget it, we're not getting in there. It's like you when you didn't want the plumbers to knock through the tiles to check out the piping. It's around the tortoise. If it's a liver, we're not going through that. It's not worth it. If it's your head or your feet, we'll have a look, mate. But we're not looking at internal organs with a giant tortoise.
why not?
Because, what do you mean?
Well, can't you drill into those things? It is only a shell. That is easier to replace than skin.
Carl, I was joking. You can't do a liver operation on a tortoise.
Why not? It's got all the same parts, hasn't it? All the same body parts and that.
Well, I think that's the point. Well, not really, but yeah, it's...
But
loosely
better
speaking.
ones in a way, because they live longer. So they're doing something right, aren't they? If they can live 250 odd years, our art can't do that. Which is what I say about our tortoise has got it right in a way that it's I don't quite understand how this face transplants work, because do you get a choice of who you have? If you have something done to your face and you go, it's burnt or whatever, or something happens to you and you need a face transplant.
Well, if you totally changed your appearance, then you would eventually change because of how people reacted to you.
Yeah, but
if you gave yourself the head of an elephant, soon you wouldn't be yourself because
I wouldn't have that. That's what I'm saying. If they had a catalogue and they said, here's some faces you can have, pick which one you want.
Yeah.
Would you be looked upon badly if you go, do you know what? I don't really like the look of any of them. Can I just wait for a better face? Or at this moment in time, have you just got to take what's on offer?
Carl, there's no one looking through catalogues at faces they might be able to have.
No, they do now because of the face transplant thing.
But who are these people putting their face up? They wait till someone...
Yeah, I know, but at some point... Well, I tell you what, I would not have a face transplant if I haven't seen the face before I'm going to have it.
You have to...
I want to see what I'm having. Because I could end up with anything. You mentioned elephant's head. Do you know what I mean? Whose head are they going to use? Is it the latest thing that's died? Oh, well, this got run over before. Yeah, I'll stick this on your head.
But where did this come from? Where
Lost his mind.
Where are these faces queuing up to be popped on a skull? Where do you think they have got time to put all these...
Maybe this is why it won't catch on. I don't know.
This is extraordinary. You've created in your own head the existence of this pamphlet, and now you're defending it, even though we don't know it even exists.
And you're this skull on a hospital bed going, I'm not having that, I don't like the look of him, he looks a bit shifty, I don't like that. Oh.
Can I ask this now? Let's say we passed away sadly in something terribly tragic. The nation's mourned. You know, it's terrible. It's like one of the great national disasters. But you, at the same time, you survived the accident, okay, but your face is hideously disfigured. You can take either Ricky's face or mine to have.
I'm surprised you're asking this though, Steve. I mean, it's just, it doesn't seem like any of them is like a great option.
Oh, thanks.
And this is what I'm saying about the catalogue. If those two were on offer, I might go, do you know what? Pop in again tomorrow. Bring in another booklet.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
This is from Anne-Marie Melvin in Amsterdam. She says that she loves the podcast. She listens with her 7-month-old baby. That cannot be a good idea. And she says this to you, Carl. If you had children, what is the most important lesson you'd want to teach them?
I mean, in a way, if you sort of look after a kid too much, it doesn't learn that much. But if you let it learn by its mistakes, it'll probably grow up all right.
But there are some mistakes you can't afford it to make to learn from.
Yeah, driving a car the wrong way down a motorway.
Testing if the fire really is hot.
No, but say like the time...
Does broken glass really taste horrible? These are lessons you don't want it to learn from mistakes.
Yeah, you can tell them that.
Yeah,
but what I mean is there's certain things that... I just think there was a kid who grew up in our avenue, right, on the estate, who, when it was born, right, we kind of thought it's got no chance, this kid, because its mum was a bit of a rumman. You know,
a woman, where's that?
No, just like, you know, she like going out and having a fag and like having a drink, and she's never at home. It's the one who had the horse in the house.
Sure.
Right, which I don't want to go over.
Sure. It's old news.
It's out there, isn't it? If you want to find out about the horse in the house. But she had a kid, and everyone was pretty surprised when they saw it because it was a good-looking kid.
Yeah.
She was surprised because, like, you know, the man wasn't that good-looking, the dad was a bit rough. But it came out. And she was showing it around the avenue, going, look at this I've had. And she was chuffed with it because it's probably like one of the newest things she's ever had. Because everything else was always sort of second down and what have you. But suddenly she's got this brand new little baby. Right? Anyway, as it grew up, right, those looks went. Right. And I'm not talking getting old. I'm talking by the age of about 3. It looks rough already, right? And all that just happened because that's the life it was in, right?
Yeah.
So like it had like a patchy head. Its hair.
It had a patchy head.
A patchy head. It's just sort of.
It wasn't a North American Indian. What do you mean, a patchy head?
Just his hair was patchy. He used to chase sort of cars and stuff.
Chase cars. Sorry. What do you mean?
That's what he did for his.
Sorry, did she let it get raised by wolves?
No. but all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, what is it that makes a person? Do you know what I mean? Now, I don't know what state he's in now, but maybe he learned all his mistakes by the age of 4. I'm guessing he's not chasing cars now, but at least he's done it.
I'm guessing he is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At least he can go, yeah, I've been there, done that, and you don't go back to it, and you can get away with doing dafter things when you're a kid, can't you? I nearly killed a man once, right?
Okay, right.
Well, that time when I was in Wales, I was having a walk with my dad on the cliffs and that.
Yeah.
I just picked up a big rock, right? Chucked it off the edge, and as I chucked it off the edge, I noticed a fella was walking down below.
Jeez.
And I missed his head by like inches. Now, I've never chucked a rock off a bridge or like off a cliff or anything.
And it only took one man to almost lose his life for you to learn that lesson.
Yeah, but that's how you learn your lessons.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
See, a lot of people would have said that maybe your dad should have said, "Hey, Carl, what are you doing?"
No, but he didn't know I was doing it. I didn't say I'm going to chuck this off here. I just picked it up and chucked it. And like, as I let go of it, I noticed the fellow was down there. You live and you learn. That's a little mantra. Right?
Right.
You live
Okay.
and you learn. So the woman who's had the kid, sort of look after it, feed it, make sure it's got shoes and that, but let it roam about.
That's great.
There's the advice for you, Anne-Marie.
I love that.
Good luck. Just let your 7-month-old baby roam about. Carl, a lot of people are absolutely fascinated to find out how you met Suzanne, your girlfriend of how long?
Ages.
Yeah. And they can't comprehend how, well, I suppose that there's any woman out there.
Well, there's someone for everyone, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's always my thing. And it's reassuring, I think. You know, we've chatted about the face transplants and that. You know, there's a face for everyone.
It's philosophy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really unbelievable.
No, there is someone for everyone, no matter what condition you're in or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I read on the email, someone emailed in an old Chinese proverb.
Is it old though? You know the Chinese proverbs don't age well.
It's something about everyone, everything, no matter what it is, has got one talent, right? And that's the same way in a relationship, isn't it? That everyone, you know, there's always someone out there, and that. I like the Chinese. There's another Chinese proverb that I learned on an email.
Go on.
He who cuts the wood up warms himself twice.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then someone sent in that one about too many Chinese cooks spoil the broth.
Why is, well, that's, I don't know who slipped the word Chinese in there, but I heard it's too many cooks.
Well, it was just all sort of Chinese proverbs and that.
One of my favourite, on the same subject, is a camel is a horse designed by committee.
What do you mean?
Well, it's having a go at the camel, and it shouldn't, but it's just, you know, it's just a metaphor. And if you wanted to design a horse and you had that vision, but you let 12 people in the room have their say, it wouldn't come out as you wanted it to do, and it wouldn't be as good. A vision is more perfect than committee, because everyone having their say, it becomes anodyne, it becomes compromised. Whereas the best things you can do is have an idea and have a vision and auteur that.
Rick, can I just say now, I can tell from his look that he's thinking, which committee designed the camel?
Well, I'd say, why would you request the ump bit? Because that's just going to get in the way, isn't it? I've always said that about a lot of animals. It's like we've doubled up on a lot of them. We've chatted about elephants and mammoths, one or the other. And that's the same with a camel. I'd have that up there as what they're doing. They were good years ago, in the Jesus times and that. Don't need them now. You know what I mean? We've moved on.
Well, not people who use camels to cross deserts.
What other? I'm
communities.
going to throw some animals at you, and you tell how you'd have improved them if you'd have been designing them. Okay? The octopus.
So I can now go back, I can look at them and go, what are they doing?
And where have they gone wrong? What's up with you? How could you improve it? Like the camel, you'd go lose the ump.
I'd probably give it a bit more of a body. Cut down on the arms. And give it some bones. Because I don't understand all this. Getting in a jar is good. When does it want to get in a jar? It says...
Well, it only wants to get in a jar according to your stories.
No, but there's something that says it can get in a jar because it hasn't got any bones. But I don't know why it'd want to do that in the first place.
I can't even begin to answer that. Once again, you've claimed that you've read that they like to get in jars. I mean, how do they know that octopus like to get in jars?
Oh, God, you can improve on an octopus. Millions and millions of years of evolution. beauty and making it perfect for its surroundings. Okay, another animal for you then, Carl.
Giraffe?
What are they adding to the world? What are they doing?
Well, it's not about what they add to the world,
No, but
is
I
it?
thought that's what everything's about. It's about things are here for a reason.
No, because they work. The only reason is that they survived. They passed on their genetic material and evolved and was chosen by nature. It was selected.
But there seems to be a lot.
The reason they're here is because they didn't die. That's it.
No, but there seem to be a lot of animals that are like.
Do you think there's a lot of cheating? Is that what you're saying?
I'm
There's
just
lots
saying,
of
there just
doubling
seems to be a
up.
lot of doubling up.
Yeah. So you get it down to like 8 animals that represented all of them. So okay, who would get in your team? You can choose 8 animals.
This is what I'm saying. If I was Noah, I would have gone like, hang on a minute. I've just seen something that looks a bit like this. Let it drown and have a clear out. But he didn't. He was messing about saving everything.
He was instructed by God to save everything, fair to him.
Yeah, but if he's been given that job, for me, he's sort of manager of that job.
So you believe
With
Noah as well? You
well-
believe Noah happened as well, and he built a boat big enough to catch 2 of every species. You actually believe that as fact, do you?
Well, it's out there in book form.
Brilliant.
We haven't answered the question that we started with. How did you meet Suzanne?
Does that work?
Thanks.
Oh, chimpanzees are mocking you!
There was this airline, and was having a lot of problems, and a lot of
Pilot's too tall?
Yeah, the cabin was so tiny.
Only bananas were allowed in the cockpit for fuel.
Anyway, there was a lot of strikes going on, right?
Sure.
Because I don't know what it was about. It was over money or whatever.
Yes.
And
Well, get something that doesn't need money.
but
But what else could you place them in?
Well,
Rick?
peanuts.
Okay, peanuts or a little fruit. Yeah.
so anyway, the boss of the airline, he had like one pilot who he could trust, right? And that was his son.
Right.
But the problem is with a lot of these planes, you need 2 pilots.
Of course you do.
And he's like, if only I had 2 sons, but he didn't. There's no point harping on about it. Right?
Sure.
He runs an airline.
He runs an airline, yeah.
But how many pilots are there? Because there must be loads.
No, there's loads, but the problem is a lot of them are going on strike.
Oh.
And each week you can see that they're struggling here.
But how can they? But it was just the pilots that were striking, was it?
Yeah, the pilots were striking, yeah.
So all the ground staff and luggage handlers and all that was okay in the cab?
They were fine, it's just pilots were not happy with the deal and what have you.
Well, just close it down.
No way, you can't do that.
No,
Rick.
I can't.
Of course you can.
It's costing them a fortune. He closes it down.
Yeah, but one plane's not going to make a difference in an airline, is it?
No, it's all the planes.
All the planes, mate.
Yeah, I know exactly. So if he's only got one person you can trust, knock it on the head.
No. What's the point? You've got to keep going. You can't just nip stuff in the bud like that. If you got a dream, keep it alive.
I know, but not with one plane and your son.
So anyway,
I don't know.
Well, but that's the least of his problems, Rick, because he's got his son who's a brilliant pilot. He's the only guy he can trust. But it takes 2 people to fly.
Well, you can't fly then.
so the son, he's flying the planes and that. He's getting worried for his dad because of his business. It's falling
Sure.
apart. He's like, anyway, listen.
Well, one plane won't make any difference.
Don't worry about it. We've found someone who you can work with. And he's like, but I get past the picket line because, they know I'm your son anyway and they'll leave me alone. But any other pilot, you're going to start giving him grief.
They're tearing him to shreds,
He said, don't worry about it.
Unless he could swing over the heads of all the strikers.
He said he's staying over at near the sort of quarantine area where all the animals are kept and stuff.
right, okay.
They won't be looking in there. They won't bother.
No.
So he's like, all right.
There's no animal that could be a co-pilot, that's why.
I'll see you. He'll meet up with you in the cockpit.
He'll be having the cockpit, yeah. Sure.
So anyway, he gets in there, he meets them. At first, a little bit of a shock who he's going to be working with, but he's thinking, as long as I can keep my dad's business alive, I can
Not with
keep the
one
job.
plane. Not
So
with one plane.
anyway, what happens is the strike's going on. He's flying. He's got his mate with him flying, helping out.
Who's his mate? What's his mate's name?
The flights are brilliant, right? Everybody's loving them. They can't believe how smooth they are.
Sure.
The shares going through the roof. Everybody's like wanting to fly.
There's this one plane they've got.
That wouldn't make any difference.
Everyone's saying, it's only a small plane, but it's worth getting on there.
And
if
it's
you
a
can.
small plane as
Because
well.
it's a great experience.
Gone under, I'd have thought. There's
So
no way
anyway-
they can keep that alive.
Apparently they can.
So they're keeping this plane up in the air and what have you, and everybody's booking the holidays. It's almost like a favourite bit of the holiday. They're loving the flights that much.
Why?
Because it's really good flights.
It's a
I
great
don't
flight.
understand what
Apparently
difference
it's a great flight.
it makes.
It's silent.
So
Understand
anyway,
what difference it makes.
Everyone's happy. Then one day, what happens is a little bit of a problem.
Oh, dear. You're not going to tell us that sort of co-pilot Coco he's not able to make it to work, is he?
Well, what happened is one woman who was on the plane got a bit peckish,
Right.
and said to the air hostess woman, said, "Oh, a little bit peckish. Have you got any sort of nibbles and that?" She went, "No, I've got a sandwich." She said, "I don't really want a sandwich. You want something, like the usual stuff that planes give out, just like a bag of nuts or something."
Well, are they not giving those out yet?
So no, they don't give it. For some reason, she was like, "Look, we've stopped giving out the nuts. We can get you a sandwich." And no one was like, "I don't want a sandwich. I just want some nuts." Do you know what I mean? A sandwich is quite a big meal. And what have you. I just want some nibbles, some nuts.
Well, no, that's not available. Done. End of story.
Can't get you nuts. She said, "Well, why aren't there any nuts?" She said, "Well, the airlines had problems and stuff, and maybe that was one of the cutbacks. We've never took the nuts back on."
Yeah, sure.
So she wouldn't just leave it. She wanted the nuts, right? She's having a lovely flight and everything. She said, "I cannot complain about the flight. The
No,
flight
sure.
is brilliant."
Yeah. Whoever's up there flying this plane is doing a
She's
dynamite
doing a
job.
great job, but I need some nuts.
Right.
Anyway, so there
There aren't any.
Very demanding woman.
There aren't any.
It's a very demanding woman.
There aren't any.
Look, she's paid big money, right? She's probably in first class. She wants nuts, she's going to get
Nah,
nuts.
there aren't any. Leave it.
If she has to force her way into the cabin to get nuts, she's going to get
Well,
nuts.
she can't go there because she'll be shot. Because
So-
with the security problems and that, there's no way she could ever go to the cockpit. That would never happen.
So she said, "Well, you're saying there aren't any nuts." She said, "But earlier, I saw you put a tray outside the cockpit, right? It had a sandwich on it, 2 Cokes and 2 bags of nuts." Right. She said, "So you're saying there aren't any, but the pilot's getting..."
Well, aren't they now? That was the last 2 packets. Done.
No.
Let's go home.
So she's going, "You can't have any of that."
We understand now there's a dispute over
So
that.
she said, "Well, I'll go and have a word with the pilot myself because you only put them out there a few minutes ago. He can't have
You
eaten
can't.
yet. I want
You
some.
said you
I'm
cannot
going
go-
over.
no.
I know this is it.
Yeah.
She was saying you cannot go over. She's going,
No.
"Listen,
Yeah.
I'm going to go over because
No,
I feel like
you
I'm being
can't.
lied to."
No, you can't.
So she goes,
No,
and
there's
the
no way.
pilot can
Well, they
hear all
can't
this
get in anyway.
chat about the nuts and what have you, and he's thinking, "What's going on out there?"
Yeah.
He opens the door. Right?
Yeah.
She gets a glance in. Little monkey sat there with headphones.
Fucking bollocks. Well, that's the end of another podcast. Do register on rickygervais.com. We'll be able to email you and tell you what's happening when we finish this run of podcasts. We might have some downloads. At the moment, we're working on animating all the monkey newses. So look forward to that. The absolute bullshit that is monkey news in all its glory. This was hosted by Positive Internet.
Great guys.
The great guys that host the world's #1 podcast. Cheerio from me, Ricky Gervais, and Steve Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Karl Pilkington.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
To quote the scholar and political theorist John Shah, the future is not a result of choices among alternative paths offered by the present, but a place that is created. Created first in the mind and will, created next in activity. The future is not some place we are going to, but one we are creating. From the schoolboy dreaming of big adventures to the scientist envisioning groundbreaking discoveries, we all care to imagine what the future will bring. Many people have attempted to predict the future, others to mould and control it. But what do we really know of the future? How does the past inform it? And what educated guesses can we make about the shape of things to come? To discuss these questions and more, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington, fucking mom. prediction for the future, Karl, is from an academic study, what the world will be like in about 75 years from now. And a big prediction they're sort of sure of is that androgyny will rule. There'll be so little difference between men and women, apart from the biology, economically, socially. It won't matter who the biggest breadwinner is, that's already being phased out. If you're in a traditional heterosexual male-female couple, it'll be who stays home, who earns the most or whatever. It won't be governed by gender. And that's getting less and less anyway, as it is now. But soon you won't even need a female or a man in your life. You'll just need the egg or sperm. And you'll be able to have any coupling you want or not. Thoughts, Karl?
That isn't what I heard.
What were you heard?
I heard that.
So you read an academic study, Rick, but
Yeah.
let's find out what Karl's been reading.
I heard we're all going to go ugly.
Different point, though, isn't it? That's a different point.
Not listening to a word Ricky said.
No, it's just if we all sort of go ugly, that will sort the population.
He gets an
problem out.
extra syllable in the word ugly. 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 Ugly.
So that just sorts the population out because people aren't sort of throwing it away. Left, right, and centre.
Well, no, then that doesn't sort of... What do you mean?
Sorry, Rick, I don't understand what the hell he said there.
Are you saying, because everyone's ugly, everyone won't want to have it away more with the ugly person?
Yeah.
Okay, I still don't... You seem to understand what he's talking about, Rick. I'm still
But
confused.
what he thinks is that if we're all ugly, then we still have this strange paradigm of beauty that won't exist, so we won't fancy anyone as much.
No, they'll still sort of fancy, because at the end of the day we're animals, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we'll still have it away, but not as much as they'd like to do now, because it's all based on looks.
Sorry, but what's this got to do
What's
with
this
what Ricky
world
said?
like? Describe a typical town or country
It's
set to me.
exactly right. Imagine London, you've still got the gherkin, you've still got the big wheel. That's It's just everyone's ugly.
Right, and they're doing all the same jobs, are they?
Everyone's still, the world's got to carry on.
What do they look like? What's ugly?
Just imagine, like, have you ever seen anyone when you've just gone, look at that?
Yeah.
Right, well, like that.
Yeah, but hold on. It's ugly by today's standards, is it? So I throw forward to 75 years, you'll go, oh, everyone's what we call ugly. But what's happened to society? What do they think of everyone? They won't suddenly go, isn't it annoying? We've got uglier. Because it's not like
because
a strict...
we have got better looking, haven't we? If I look back now at a school photo, you look at my class and you go, what was going on then? You can't tell the difference between some of the girls and the blokes.
No, but that's not true. Because
it is, honestly.
That's
look at
fashion
it
and nutrition. And I see that, When I see an old episode of Bullseye, I think, Jesus, the men look like rakes with no teeth and a moustache. And they're bald with their hair down like a paedophile. And he goes, now how old are you? And I go, 52. 50 goes, I'm 22. What?
Yeah, but that's more because of the sort of people that used to go on Bullseye. I mean, Paul Newman was never going to pop on Bullseye.
No, exactly.
Because he was actually a plumber from, Essex.
And then think of the people that he grew up with, some of them live in holes now.
Yeah.
So, I don't think the class of Pilkey 1982 doesn't really count. When he said, we've got better looking, I thought he was going to talk about cavemen, not his school photo. I mean, what happened there? There's been no evolution in that time. What are you talking about, Karl?
We've got better looking now, haven't we?
I wonder if he's confused it with the paradigms of beauty have changed, haven't they? So in the 50s, Marilyn Monroe was considered, very desirable, whereas that body shape on women, more recently, has become less, lots of skinny women are seen as a paradigm of beauty. But, so that has maybe changed.
But we will change.
Yeah, we'll
Probably
change
not in 75 years.
I mentioned before about your little finger. There'll come a time when that'll go. I've watched it. I've kept an eye on what my little finger's doing. Sometimes it does nothing. It never helps out. All the others are grabbing all the stuff. That one just sort of sits there watching. So you could get rid of that, and I think that will go in evolution.
Think of the books he could have read when he was doing that, when he was monitoring his little finger.
I've been watching my little finger. But again, it's what you mean. 75 years is nothing. The only thing that changes in 75 years is trend, fashion, economics. The gene pool doesn't change unless there's been some sort of really